Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs, where today we are going to be making this fun, beautiful Valentine's Day scrapbook layout. I'm calling it the 4-3-2-1 layout. So grab a sheet of DSP, grab a sheet of cardstock, and craft along with me. I'm going to share to the group, so give me a minute. While I'm doing that, say hi if you're here, or say hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Okay, I shared it to the group. Now I'm going to go on and tag everyone. So while I'm doing that, let me know what the weather's like in your area. Okay, I just tagged everybody. Now let me tag Vicky because I know she doesn't get those tags for some reason. Okay, I have things tagged, so I'm about ready to go. I'll give you a minute or two to grab your paper. I'm using a brand new suite, but you can make this layout with any suite that you have. I recommend one piece of DSP 12 by 12, one piece of cardstock 12 by 12, and then a coordinating sticker sheet, or if you have stamped images, with dies or something. Okay, I just tagged everybody now. Okay, I see Mom. Hi, Mom. So sorry if I sound a little bit raspy. I am getting over a head cold. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling better, but I still got congestion. Okay, so like I said, we are going to make this scrapbook layout. And I am using a brand new suite called Made with Love. It can be found in the brand new catalog. Hi, Diana. It can be found in the brand new catalog. This will become available to customers January 6th, so on Tuesday. If you're one of my customers and have purchased from me in the past year, I did send you a copy of the catalog, so you can find this in the catalog. I am going to do a catalog walkthrough on Wednesday. I'm not allowed to show you inside until it goes live. I can show you products and samples that I made with it, but I can't show you the inside of the catalog. And I can't, even though this goes live on Tuesday, I can't do a catalog walkthrough on Tuesday night because my Quilt Guild, which normally meets on Wednesdays, booked a speaker, but they booked them for the wrong date. So we're actually having our Quilt Guild meeting on Tuesday night instead of Wednesday night. So, and it's at the same time that I would normally do a walkthrough. So I am going to do a walkthrough on Wednesday, but you can start ordering from this on Tuesday. So, like I said, this is called Made with Love. There are a lot of products in the suite. Hi, Diana. I basically, for this layout, I used the paper and the sticker sheet. So you can get the paper with or without the sticker sheet. Let me show you some of these papers. I have used these for a lot of things, so I'm kind of getting down there. This is one, I really love this one. This is my favorite, and I actually used it in on the cards that I'm making tomorrow, or next week, I mean. It's kind of an ombre. Let me tell you the colors. The colors are, they're all like pinks and reds. The colors are Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, Real Red, and Strawberry Slush. So you can kind of see this. I think this is supposed to be Bubble Bath, Strawberry Slush, Real Red, and Poppy Parade. And then the reverse side has got these arrows and little hearts and flowers. This is the one I'm going to use today. It just says XOXO. And then it's got some little hearts in there. And then the back is this cool stripe, which you can see in my layout there. This one has some all over hearts, small hearts. And then I really like the back. This is Real Red and Polka Dot. I think this would be good for a Disney page. Actually, a lot of these, like this would be cute for Disney also. This one's got some really tiny hearts. Let's compare those to this one. See, these are, I mean, I call these mini hearts, but these are super mini hearts. This suite is very much heart themed, which I love for Valentine's Day. Then this has got the Real Red, it might be Poppy Parade background, and then these little heart kind of stripes that make stripes. This is a pretty bubble bath with some flower designs. Let me see if I can show you the flower designs in it. I'm waiting for the lag on my screen. Yeah, I don't know if you can see. And then the back is got the Strawberry Slush with random hearts. And then this one, this is like the other one, but it's not ombre. It's kind of mixed up. And then the back has got kind of a light set of strips. And so actually this is the one I use for my One Sheet Wonder cards. I use them for these cards because I thought that the stripes made a nice contrast with the hearts. This is what I'm doing next week. This is what I was thinking about. I use the ombre for this pop-up diamond card. I use the ombre. Really love the ombre hearts. And then you can get it with or without the sticker sheet, like I said. And this is a sticker sheet. You can see I've already used some for this layout. Okay, so it's got some flowers, and you can see I really focused on the hearts, and then some nice sentiments, and then some strips here. The one thing I wish, hi Carol, the one thing that I wish is that there were 2 of each of these strips, because I was going to put a strip across the bottom or something, but there's only 1, so I couldn't make it for the corresponding page. So instead I did these stamps. Okay, so this is the paper and the sticker sheet. What else did I buy from this collection? I bought the doilies. So if you have little kids who like to make their own Valentines, I would get these because I loved making Valentines. When I was little, using doilies. You know, we would have to go to the party store or whatever and get our doilies. So these come in 2 sizes of doilies, and then the red and then the pink. I didn't use it on the layout, but I am going to use it on the cards. So you'll get to see them next week when I use it. And then I bought the stamp set and dies. Here's the stamp set. And you can see this is what I used here. I used this on one of my cards. Let's see. You can kind of see here, maybe you can see the... You're excited for next week's cards? Okay, good, good. You know what? I love to do a one-sheet wonder for Valentine's cards because, you know, if you have kids who send them for, you know, school or whatever, you can make a whole bunch of them. And that my one-sheet wonder is going to make 8 cards. So I'm going to give these to my granddaughter because I'll have like 16 cards for her to use after my samples and then the live. Okay, so here's the stamp set. And then here are the dies. And again, I'll use these more next week. I didn't really use them on this layout. There are some other things in the suite that I did not purchase. There is a embossing folder that looks like hearts. There is a set of hearts, like sprinkles, like little, you know, shaker elements. I didn't get those because I still have my close to my heart ones. They look somewhat like this. They're different colors than that. These are, the close to my heart ones are actually like foam. Oh, it's interesting. They're like, now over time, they're not as foamy in that, and they're kind of stuck, but they look kind of like that. But you can see why I didn't get any. So, okay, who's ready? If you want to make this layout, like I said, you just need 1 sheet of DSP, even less than a sheet. A half a sheet is fine. If you want to make a 2-page layout, you'll need 1 sheet, and then 1 sheet of DSP, and then whatever you use for your base. Hi, Vicky. I tagged you so you would get it. I hope you saw the notification. And then something with a sticker sheet or ephemera or, you know, dies or something would be good too. Okay, we're ready to get started. Okay, let me rearrange here a little bit. I was a little bit late going live because I was trying to get my setup high enough so that you could see both pieces. Yeah, they do look like ice cream sprinkles. Okay, so let's start here. I am starting with a white willow base. And I just kind of came up with this layout, and I'm calling it the 4-3-2-1 layout. I made that up. So, but it's pretty legitimate. I don't know if people actually call it this, but that's what I'm calling it, the 4-3-2-1. And can you guess why? I'll tell you why. Because the pieces that I cut were 4 inches, 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch. So I cut them, and I was like, oh, what would be a pleasing look? And so I cut like this 4 inches, and then I was like, okay, let me cut one that's 3 inches. And it just so happened that it worked out that way. So I thought that was a better idea than calling this the Made with Love scrapbook layout, because I wanted you to know that you can make this layout with any papers. Vicky, you can make this for your England book, right? Do a page like this. Get out some suitable paper for that and craft along. Okay, so this is the part of the sheet that I didn't use. So let's cut this one, and I want this one to be the focal point. So I'm going to make it the 4 inches. So this is the one that I want to be 4 inches. So whichever one that you want to really stand out, I would cut it that piece to 4 inches. Okay, so I've got my 4-inch piece. My 4-inch piece. This is 3 inches. This one's 2 inches. So I'm using the back of this, and I'm hoping it's going to be wide enough. Yeah, it's perfect. Well, 2 inches. Well, actually, that makes sense. 4 plus 2 is 6. And I've already used 6 here, so now I'm using 6 here. So I picked a paper where I thought that it was a good contrast. Okay, so like I said, 1 sheet of DSP can give you both sides of the layout. Okay, so I got a 4-piece. I've got my 2-piece. And then I'm going to use my some solid. This is Poppy Parade. Okay, and it is the 2-sided. You can see our 12 by 12 now comes 2-sided with a white core, which I think you kind of need this. Hey, Michaela, could you add glitter to some of the hearts on the bottom left? I could add glitter. I'll add some for you. Actually, I've got these like golden sequins. This is from last year's Marbled Elegance, the reds, the red marbles. And this was part of that. I brought that. I was thinking I probably could add some of this. I'll do that at the end maybe. Okay, so we have a 4 and our 2. Let's do our piece that's 3 inches. And on here, I did the darker color as my 3-inch. So the darker side of my paper is 3 inches. So now I've got my 4, my 3, my 2, and then my 1-inch. So I'm going to turn it around and use the lighter side for my 1-inch piece. If you have single-sided cardstock, you know, it's the same as the front and the back, you could, you could make these the same color, or you could just use a different color. Like you could use, here I use Poppy Parade, but then here I could have used Real Red or whatever. Hi, Dee. Okay, so let's start. And I want you to notice one of the techniques I used on here was tearing, paper tearing. And it may not look like it, it's hard to tell, but I only tore the pieces, the cardstock, because the cardstock has the white core. If you tore these ones, the paper, it would look torn, but you wouldn't get this like white edge like you do here. So I only tore the cardstock. And so this will really only work if you have white core cardstock. So this is one of the reasons that I'm glad that Stampin' Up! Has moved their 12 by 12 paper to be white core, because you can do techniques like this. Okay, and so I'm going to do the paper tearing. I'm going to do this one. This is my 3-inch piece. And a couple notes is when you tear towards you, which is how I usually do it, you get the white edge showing. Okay. If you tear away from you, let me see if I can do it this way. I can't do it with my left hand. If you tear it like this, you don't see the white edge. So it depends on if you want to see the white edge or not. If you want to see the white edge, then tear it towards you. And I'm only tearing the slightest amount off. You can see this is like maybe 1/4 of an inch off, because I am tearing both sides. And so you want it to still be around 3 inches, so you don't want to tear too much. And I am kind of making this straight, although this one you can see how I kind of had it swoop in a little bit towards the end to kind of give it a little bit of even more texture. Okay. And now remember, on the small piece, the 1-inch piece, I want to use the lighter side, so I would put the lighter side up and then tear. And this one, again, I'm really going to try to tear a very little amount. And since this is a really small piece, I'm tearing maybe 1/8 of an inch. Is anyone crafting along? You're making a scrapbook layout? If you are, let me know what suite you're using. I know at the end of last year, I went pretty heavy on the cards because of Christmas. Cards and paper crafts, like the little gift boxes and that sort of thing, because it was Christmas. And I wanted to start the year off with some scrapbooking because I haven't forgotten the scrapbook side of me. It's hard to believe that, you know, a little more than a year ago, I was basically only a scrapbooker. I made cards once in a while. Mainly, I did the card making kits from Close to My Heart. That's really where I made the cards, was in the card making kit. Okay. Now we're almost ready to start assembling. I'll move this a little bit closer so you can see this better. So I'm going to start by putting down my 4-inch piece. And here I put it 2 inches from the top. Okay. So let's adhere this down 2 inches from the top. My nose is itching. Doesn't that mean something? I mean, besides the fact that my allergies or whatever are really bad, but okay. So I'm going to put this down 2 inches from the top. There we go. And I'm looking at on my Versamat at both sides, 10 here and 10 here. Okay, now here's the hard part. It's not really hard, but since we didn't tear these, I want this one to be at the bottom. And I'm going to put this over top. So it kind of looks like I've tore all the pages or all the papers, even though I only tore the solids. So I'm going to put this one next because I want it to be underneath my torn pieces. But when you place it, you want to make sure that you place it just enough down so that this 1-inch piece will cover it. Okay, so you don't want too big of a gap. Like you wouldn't want to do that. And then I put this down and it doesn't cover that up. So I know this is pretty small. This is obviously less than 1 inch because we tore. It's more like maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. So don't put this piece more than 3/4 of an inch down. Okay. Okay, so I'm putting this about, like I said, about 1/2 inch. I'm putting it about 5 3/4 up from the bottom on both sides. I only left a little bit of a gap there. But at this point, I'm trying to match it up with this. So that's the main thing. Okay, now I'm going to put the 1-inch strip, or what used to be the 1-inch strip, over that. And again, I'm going to try and, match up so that it looks like a seamless transition across the page. And remember, you put the right side up. I'm using the lighter side of the what color is this one? What color did I say it is? Poppy Parade. Okay, now let's do the last page, or the last piece. I'm going to put it about here, and you can see how sorry. Since we tore both sides, it looks like all 4 pieces are kind of torn. But you don't get that same white core look with the DSP. So you really only, oh gosh, what's up? You really only see it with the cardstock. So that's why I'm tearing both sides of the cardstock. Okay, let's put this down. Trying to match up the sides. So this is about about 4¼ up from the bottom. Make sure it's centered. Okay, there we go. Okay, kind of got the base done. Okay, now on this page, I put one 4x6 piece. One 4x6 picture, and I double matted it. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a piece of white cardstock and then a piece of bubble bath cardstock. I was thinking this time about maybe doing 2, or I could do 1 and then like that. I think I'm gonna just do the 2 4x6 vertical. Okay, so let's measure this one. I made the white, let's see. Yeah, 6 1/4, 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Okay, here we go. So let's cut this 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Might need to get another sheet of, oh no, this is 6 1/4. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna cut this 6 1/4. Okay, and then cut 2 pieces that are 4 1/4. Okay, and then the base, the final mat is bubble bath. Let's see if I have enough of that. Okay, this, and I'm going to cut it 6 1/2. So if this is 6 1/2, that will be good to go. Okay, it is 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. That's good for 1. And just like here, I just did 1. But on this one, I think I'm going to do 2. Let me see if I have another scrap of that. I do, but this is not going to be 6 1/2. Okay. I'll cut this one, have a whole sheet. This is part of the Subtle collection. And this is Bubble Bath. So 4 1/4. Oh, did I cut that 4 1/4 or did I cut it? No, I cut it 4 1/2. 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Okay, so now let's mat our pictures. So first we are going to put, I'll move this back over for you. Let's put our photo placeholders, and I'm dreading the day I'm going to run out of these. Okay, we're going to put these on the white. Is anybody crafting along? Let me know. Okay, and then put these on the bubble bath. No, uh-oh. We'll have to stick with our Tombow. I'll have to put a new tape runner and my ATG. Okay. There we go. So it just has a little bit of pink popping out. Let's do the same thing for this one. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to place them here like this. Here I just kind of centered it. And when I placed it so that it was appealing and kind of landed in the middle of one of my strips. Okay, so let's adhere this down. Okay, so you can see this one, I'm going to center it in between these pieces, and I'm going to have it hit so that it's, you know, in between. It's not falling on a seam. I don't really want it to fall on a seam because then you lose the aesthetic. Okay, here and here. Okay, so that's really the base. All we need to do is kind of decorate it now. So I did decide to stamp onto my layout. I'm going to move this a little bit so you can focus on here. Now, oh, Jeannie landed. My sister just flew to Hawaii today, so she just landed in Hawaii. Hope it's warm there for her. Okay, so I'm using, oh, and actually the stamp set is called Endless Love. The paper is called Made with Love. The stamp set is called Endless Love. I do have a resource page. Let me drop the link. Okay, I'm getting to it. Okay, there's the link to the resource page of everything that I used. So I'm going to use a stamp set. Now, it's probably, if you're going to do some background stamping, you might want to do it before you put your paper down. But I only did it to where you could, you know, only did it kind of in the corners, so I didn't bother. But also, I didn't decide to add stamps until after I had already done the layout, so, you know, maybe that's another reason. I'm only holding it down here because if I have it kind of up here onto the base of my stand, I won't get a good stamped image. So I'll move it back up later. Okay, but so I'm using this one, which is kind of this mixture of hearts. And I'm using Poppy Parade that I got in my paper pumpkin. Speaking of paper pumpkin, there's still time. Excuse me. There's still time to sign up for this month's paper pumpkin. I'm sorry, I told you I'm congested. There's still time to sign up for this month's paper pumpkin. And it's Valentine themed. So you're going to be making Valentines. So I'm excited about those. I have to find a time for my live. I usually do the paper pumpkin live, but it'll be towards the end of January. Now you can see that for this layout, on the left-hand side, left-hand layout, I did the stamping in the top right corner. Here I'm doing it in the top left corner. Here I did it in the bottom left corner. Here I'm doing it in the bottom right corner. And then I added these little sprinkles that are on this set. You can see they're right here. Because really, I wasn't able to stamp this twice. And if you watch my TikTok video, which I do have a TikTok where I made these, where I made this layout, you can see I tried to stamp another one of these like down, but there wasn't enough room. So that's why I went to these dots. Okay, so let's try this. And then you just kind of random stamp. You can also turn your, paper, your stamp a little bit, but I kind of wanted them all to be kind of raining down is kind of what I was thinking, that, the hearts were raining down. So I'm going to put this here to kind of mask off. There we go, so it doesn't get onto here. Okay, that's good there. And then we'll do the same thing down here at the bottom. Add a few of these sprinkles. I did, I think, 5. There we go. Okay. That's it for the stamping. I stamp sometimes, but I don't stamp on my layouts a lot of times. Let's put this away. Okay, but you could say I use pretty much, not all of them, but almost all of them on the card set next week. So we'll see more of this stamp set next week. I wanted to feature the sticker sheet this week. Okay, let's see what we have left. Here I did a little one. And then I think I'm going to do Sweetheart. I'm going to put Sweetheart here. And I've decided that I'm going to put my grandkids on this one. So I'm just going to kind of stick them here. Sweetheart. And then there's a lot of these little sentiments. Let's see, what do I want to do? Now and always. I'm going to do now and always. Oh, I love the we belong together. But I'll do now and always. These you can also use to make cards. Like I could have added some of these to, to my cards next week. So I'm going to put this here. And actually, you can maybe even do a few if you want to. And then here I have one of the banners. It says, "You are loved." I'm going to do "This was a special day." And I'll put it right here. I am going to pop this up, and the reason I'm going to pop it up is because I don't have my picture on here now, so I don't want to put this down because it's going to stick to my photo placeholder. If my picture were there, if I already had the pictures, I would put it straight down, but since I don't, I usually try and pop it up so that you can leave the backing on here. And it won't stick. There we go. So I want pretty much this the special day kind of to be on that. So I'm only going to take off these top backing. And so leaving the backing on for here will allow it to not interfere with, like I could still take this off. See, I could still take this off and put my picture on there. Okay, and then lastly, you can see here, I did all of these hearts. So let's see what's left on here, and we'll do some hearts. I think we could, might do this one. I might put it, I think I like it here. What do you guys think? It's a little bit harder to place because I put two vertical. I might put it here, hanging down like this a little bit. Oops, I don't stick down. Or I could put it here. I might put it there. But let's pop this one up. Because it's going to, again, it's going to go over the picture. When you scrapbook with these sticker sheets, it really makes these go really, really fast. Okay, so I'm going to leave these ones on, and I'm going to peel these off. So these pieces will be the ones that stick. Okay. And then let's get some little ones. And I'm going to put them kind of here and here. So I want something that's not red. This is a really small one. I'm going to put this one here. And then maybe about this one. This one's pretty small too. I don't want that small. Let's do this one. I'm going to pop this one up. The reason is because it's going to go over the edge of that torn piece, so it's not going to lay flat. So let's pop this one up. And on this one, you can take all of the pieces off. So I'm going to put it kind of like that. There we go. Okay, I think we have it. Although Michaela wanted me to add some bling. So, hey, Julie. So let's add some of that bling. As I said, this is from the Marbled elegance, and so it's no longer available. But there are gems that came with this set, so just put a couple of these here. You could put sequins, whatever you want. There we go. And I know you can't see that one, so I put 2 here. And then I put 1 right here. It's gold foil. Let's see if I can raise this up just a little bit, so you can see the final thing of all of them. There you go. I see the heart. Thanks for the hearts. This is what I was doing when I realized it was 7 o'clock, so I didn't take too long. There we go. Okay. Hope you can see that a little bit better. I'm sorry if I made you dizzy. It's making me dizzy just watching me do it on the screen. Okay, there, that seems to be a little bit caught. Okay, so here's my layout. And like I said, I'm calling this the 4-3-2-1 because I've got a piece that's 4 inches, a piece that's 3 inches, a piece that's 2 inches, and a piece that's 1 inch. And it was just serendipitous that it came out that way. I kind of cut the pieces so that I thought it looked pleasing. And then I was like, wait, that was 4, 3, 2, and 1 inches. So there we go. So here is my scrapbook layout. Again, you could do this with any of the suites. This one is coming up, like I said, in the new catalog. So if you're just joining, this catalog is going to go live on Tuesday. You'll be able to purchase from it. And this suite is in there. There's also a scrapbook workshop kit that comes with 3 pre-designed 2x2, 12x12, 2 sheet layouts. So 6 layouts total. They've got this. They've also got some of the Picture My Life cards they look very much part of this suite. It would be really easy to make Valentine's. Maybe I'll do something with those. With those two. Okay. Next week, get your paper ready. This is a 1-sheet wonder. We're going to make 8 cards, and I'm going to use the same suite, although I'm going to use different papers, and I'm going to try to use different elements from like the dies. You can see some of the dies. I use some of the stamp. I use the doilies. I love this die. I should probably put this one here. So these are the 8 cards. So think about what paper you want to use next week. And I did really try to minimize any extra paper that I used. So basically I used 1 sheet of the DSP and then 6 card bases. So that's 3 8.5 by 11 sheets cut in half for the card bases. I did add white and I think that is strawberry slush. And then I added white here. I just felt it needed, a little bit more behind it so that the doily showed through. And then I did use like a scrap of black for that one. But this is what we're going to do next week. Yes, it's a 12 by 12 1-sheet wonder. And I don't know if you can tell, but this paper and this is the same. This is the back of that one. So all of the dark red is the back side of this one. So like this one uses 2 pieces from the One Sheet Wonder. This one uses 2 pieces. This uses 2. This one just uses 1. These ones use 4 small ones each. This one uses 2, and then this one uses 2. So most of the cards use 2 pieces, kind of a long skinny one, and then the 3x4s. So that's what we're doing next week. So I hope you enjoyed this week, though, the scrapbook layout. Like I said, I'm really going to try and do some more scrapbook layouts since we were very card heavy in November, December because of Christmas. Okay, so next week, One Sheet Wonder. And then I think I am going to try and do a scrapbook layout using the Aurora. I've got to design that yet. I haven't, but okay. This goes live Tuesday. I will be doing a catalog walkthrough on Wednesday night, not Tuesday night, because my Quilt Guild's meeting on Tuesday night. So I have to do this on Wednesday, but you can order from it on Tuesday. Also, the paper pumpkin this month that you can order up until the 10th. We are making Valentine's. Or Valentine appropriate cards. I haven't seen them yet, but you might be able to use them for other things like Mother's Day or that. I don't know, but they do say Valentine appropriate. Okay, so that's kind of what's coming up. I will be doing a paper pumpkin live sometime at the end of January. I have to see the schedule. Schedule's pretty clear. The semester starts tomorrow, and we won't get really into the swing of things for another month or so. So I have a fairly open calendar. Okay. Okay, well, I know this was a short live this week, but again, it's because I'm a little congested. I did go to I did a 3-day quilting retreat. Although it was sleep at home, it was a sleep at home quilting retreat, but I set up my sewing machine and all my accessories Friday morning at I didn't get there till 10, but it started at 9. And then left it there overnight, went back Saturday, left my stuff there overnight, went back today in the morning, and then it ended at 5. And I got a quilt top done. I am going to put a border on it, I think, but I got the top basically done. I did post a picture in, I think in the Crafty Chemist Presents. It's a stack and whack quilt. You know how we did the stack and whack cards? Well, I did a stack and whack quilt, a crazy quilt. And so I finished that over the weekend. But like I said, I think I'm going to add a border to it. Kind of to tone it down a little bit because it's crazy because it's got 12 different materials and the stack and whack design. So yeah, I'm glad I got to do it. I mean, I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? It's just hard for me to breathe. And I didn't feel I was contagious because I had been sick over 5 days before that. So I felt that I wasn't, contagious. And it was just a head cold. It wasn't too bad. So I felt comfortable going. So, okay. I hope you like the layout. I will post a nice clean picture of it in the group. If you make one, if you've crafted along with a different suite, post your picture so we can see what you did. There is a sketch challenge card up. A lot of people, I think there was 4 submissions. So I'll pick a winner at the end of the month, at the end of January for the sketch challenge. I'll do actually maybe I'll do a sketch like this for Tuesdays. I'm going to drop a new sketch on Tuesday, scrapbook layout. So maybe I'll do something with this. Okay. See you, Wednesday, I guess. Yeah, breathing is important. And this is on Benadryl. I just took Benadryl like an hour ago. So I also think the dryness in here affects me. I do have my humidifier going in my room. So I think that affects me too. But okay, I'm going to head out. I'm going to walk Darcy and then lay down to go to bed. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.